Hello, I'm Janine McGuire.
And I'm Arri Lawton Simon.
Together, we're
McGuire and
Simon. Welcome to Third Thursdays. This is the March 18th, 2021 edition, and we're so happy you could join us tonight.
Absolutely. And it's a special episode because we started these back in May of last year, got consistently going in August. And this is our 9th broadcast, and Janine and my lucky number happens to be 9. So welcome to the 9th episode of Third Thursdays. So this month, we are going to be talking about something a little different. You know, we've done large scale salons. We've done songs about people who died in COVID. We've had all kinds of different things on this broadcast, but today we're going to go somewhere much more fun.
Yeah, we're going to do a dive into one of our shows that we wrote a few years ago that people have been asking us about lately. So, whenever we are presenting songs from our other shows, Borders, Express, sometimes we throw in our bio or we wrote a show called Kibby The Space Dog. And lately people have been like, well, what's Kibby? What's Kibby? So we wanted to just devote this episode to talking a little bit about that, letting you hear some of the songs, and also getting a chance to chat with the other 2 creators. This was a 4-person collaboration. We'll have them on the show to talk a little bit about the creative process and production of Kibby The Space Dog. And we'll tell you a little bit about what that is. It's actually based on a children's book of the same name by Andrea Cassell. And Arri can tell us a little bit about the plot.
Yeah, so it's a great picture book with a lovely story about a happy Labradoodle who's the most popular dog in the neighborhood until the day he gets a cut on his paw and has to wear a cone on his head. But it's really a show about accepting each other's differences and loving yourself for who and where you are. So I actually grew up doing theater at the Wichita Children's Theater and Dance Center in Wichita, Kansas, my hometown. Which is who we wrote this show with and for. And so we'd like to bring on our collaborators to talk about it. Welcome to Kelly Wonsetler and Kyle Vespestad. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Happy to be here.
Thanks for coming. We're happy to talk to you. And actually, this is special for me. I mentioned, I was just thinking about this before. We worked on this show together as this 4-person collaboration without really meeting, so this is special for me to get to know you better. And, and way back when we were looking at your production timeline. It was 4 years ago when we had our initial conversation, almost, to the month. It was March 2017. Just about the possibility of doing this show with you. And then it premiered 1 year later in March 2018. So, and in that time, that was sort of pre-Zoom being everywhere. So I think we had phone calls and wrote emails back and forth and traded songs and scripts and things. But we weren't in video conference for everything land yet. So it's a pleasure to see you on screen right now.
Likewise. Yeah.
So can you guys just tell us a little bit about children's theater, specifically the Once Upon a Time series, and then how you both function in your roles at the theater and with those shows specifically?
Sure. I've been with Wichita Children's Theater and Dance Center since 1986, believe it or not, right out of college. And the Once Upon a Time series is just one of the facets of our organization. But it's a special facet because it focuses on performing arts for ages 2 and up. So we're really the only theater in the Midwest that really targets the young audience, the super young audience. And Kibby, of course, was a part of that series. So here at the theater, we are a small staff, so we all have many hats that we wear. But I am director of theater, and Kyle, I'll let him tell you a little bit about what he does.
I have actually worked here since 1996. And I started on the Wichita Children's Theater tour that they do every year that tours around parts of the Midwest, mainly Kansas, and all the little small towns. Anyway, so I am now tour director. That's kind of my main job. And I also direct all of our Once Upon a Time shows and our main stage shows and our black box shows. We have lots of theater that happens in here, and so I'm kind of the main director of those shows. And we have lots of theater classes, of course, that happen here.
And we're also very fortunate we get to perform in the Once Upon a Time shows. So not only do we have a hand in selecting like what shows will be performed, and I usually work on props and costumes, and Kyle directs, but then and choreographs, and then we also get to be in the shows. So it's kind of a special process for us.
Yes, the Once Upon a Time series is adults performing for kids, and we usually say, ages 2 and up. So
yeah.
And that was such a cool assignment. It was the first of our kind when we started working on Kibby, to be writing for adults performing for kids. And I guess the range we got was ages like 2 to 8. And we, were certainly, fans of music written for kids when we were kids ourselves. And I would say today still as well, because, that stuff, you take in and just becomes really a part of you. And so we were really excited about the assignment, but we hadn't done it before. And you both walked us through the process of what this, like the structure of the show would look like. I remember this, you made it very, very clear and easy for us to learn the format of this type of show. And, and the kind of script that works for that audience. So that was really interesting for me, I recall.
Yeah, and I also think that it was specifically for us to look at the story in the way that we look at any story, right? I think that there can be a little bit of a stigma in the writing community about writing for young audiences too, that it has to be like dumbed down or less, which is not at all the case. It's just a different avenue. And just like we do in all of our theatrical work, it was about finding those important moments and distilling them down to those important thematic moments that really hit home, and then writing a great song for that. And so it was the same skill set, but applied in a really fresh way for us. That was super fun. How did the project kind of come to be on in the first place?
Well, our executive director, Monica Flynn, who is the heart of our organization, of course, has been friends with Andrea Cassell for years. And they actually ran into each other, I believe, at a local business. And Andrea approached Monica and they began visiting about this book because she is a local playwright. She has now since moved to Georgia, but she still has ties in Wichita, Andrea does. And so they just began visiting about this book, and I believe between the two of them, they just came to an agreement that this would be a great children's show. And Andrea believed in what Monica was doing here at Wichita Children's Theater. And so then Monica approached us, and we just thought that having worked with Arri for a number of years, we knew that he would be a great person to approach about writing the music. And then he had you, Janine, as a partner. And so that's kind of how it came to be. And in terms of process, Kyle and I just read the book and just sort of broke down how we could see it being a children's show.
And you guys talk about this is your first, kid show that you've done music for. And this is our first kid show that we've ever written,
right,
or anything from the ground up or anything like that. We've done numerous kid shows, and we do have a local playwright that writes a lot of those, Kevin Reese, and but this is the first one that we've done also. So the four of us together, this is our first collaboration.
Yeah, I had some experience in college adapting some literature into readers' theater, so I had a little bit of experience with that, but certainly nothing like working on a children's book. But what you were saying, Arri, about not dumbing down a kid's show, I think you have a good script when it appeals both to the young audience member as well as their parents. So when you hear
like the Pixar model,
playing, and enjoying it, that you've hit the mark. And kids are very intelligent and they're very honest reactors as audience members. So you don't want to dumb down or condescend to them in any way because they're very sharp. But this was just a great process. And one thing I wanted to say that I found so interesting was that after we outlined just a basic outline of scene breakdown that we thought would work, and we talked to you about some songs that and just kind of thematically what we wanted the songs to be about, you guys came back with songs with specific lyrics and names of characters that then we used and incorporated like the blue jay and the squirrel, and just different names that you gave characters that we then used and put in our script. So it really was a collaborative process that we took some of your ideas, helped us write the script. So
and I think the first song that you guys wrote was Happy Dog.
It was indeed, and I think we should take a look at it so we can hear about Earl the squirrel and my bird friend Jay.
It's very catchy.
Fun fact, Earl the squirrel was played by my mother, Denise Jackson Simon, who also is a longtime associate of the Children's Theater, teaching classes and directing. And she music directed the original production as well. So it's a family affair in a lot of ways. Theater family. But here is I'm a Happy Dog from Kibby the Space Dog.
Yes, and this is performed in concert with Arri, Lawton, Simon as Kibby.
The sun is shining, it's a beautiful day. A perfect morning for a puppy to play. The birds are chirping and the grass is green. I'm the happiest dog you've ever seen. I'm a happy dog. I'm a happy dog. Life is good in the neighborhood, 'cause I'm a happy dog. I smell the flowers and I traipse through the trees. I greet the mailman and shoot the breeze. There's no good reason to be sad or upset, 'cause I'm the happiest dog you've ever met. 'Cause I'm a happy dog. I'm a happy dog. Life is good in the neighborhood, 'cause I'm a happy dog. And every time I go outside, my friends run up to pet me. I get along great with my fellow dogs. Yeah, they really get me. Earl the squirrel says, how do you do? My bird friend Jay says, hey bud, what's new? Everybody smiles at me and says hello, because they all know, yeah, I'm a happy dog. I'm a happy dog. But things are going to stay in a happy way, 'cause I'm a happy dog. I'm a happy dog.
Yay!
Yay, Arri.
I said to Kyle, I don't remember us doing that riff. Do you?
No, it was motivated in the moment.
No, and speaking of writing for an audience, then I guess of all ages, it's like that was performed in concert along with songs from other of our shows for an audience of adults, basically. And it was fun to be able to present the songs for all kinds of audiences and see how they go over. And we were happy that it seems like the child in all of us sort of we're moving along to that.
Definitely, and it's a great opener to a kid show.
Yeah, we had. I don't know how it happened, because I think there was the suggestion, as like in a placeholder in the script or whatever, was for a song like "I'm a Happy Dog" or about a happy dog or whatever, and at some point when we were doing it, it's just this like panting thing, like all of a sudden it was like, oh, I'm not just a happy dog, I'm a happy dog, and then it just decided to be Motown, and then there you went. So.
Definitely. No, Arri, that was all you. I remember you had the happy idea, and I was like, oh, I love it. It just feels hooky already. So yeah.
Very fun. So it did go into production, right? We had the world premiere production, which I was fortunate to be able to fly back and see one of in 2018. So just in doing that, I loved it. We loved the show. Just can you tell us a little bit about the process of putting it together with everybody, and then what might come next for it?
We had one of the most talented scenic artists that we know involved in helping to design and create the set, and that was Rachel Downs. She is also a resident here of Wichita, and the set was fantastic. So I think you may have some pictures you can show. I don't know how many showed the set for sure, but that was great. we found, I think Kyle would agree, that it was much harder as performers than it was as playwrights. Actually, we had, I believe, 6 of us performing a show that had many characters. And because it was, a fairly short show, I believe 45 minutes in length, there were lots of fast costume changes and very involved costumes, playing dogs from head to toe, and then adding cones and trying to sing and dance in cones and fur was very challenging.
Yes.
But in the end, very rewarding. I think Andrea has, of course, since written 2 more books. And we've actually talked with you and with her about possibly adapting her latest books into productions. And we even have kind of a rough sketch of the second book. And we've talked about how some of those songs that you guys wrote could be used in, the Hap Hap Happy Dog could literally be in every Kibby production because it just fits. But we learned some lessons about simplifying. I think we would simplify some things if we were to do another Kibby show. Maybe not have quite so many characters in the script. That would be one thing.
That's it's so interesting because that's a thing that we have to do in adaptation a lot, actually. And Janine and I, one of our kind of our main project right now, which should be doing an off-Broadway production in the next year or 2, pre-Broadway, hopefully, is an adaptation of a film. And in a movie, a close-up can tell you so much, just like the look on somebody's face, or a glance here and there. You can travel many locations. You can go somewhere on the other side of the world for 2 seconds and then come back and nobody thinks a thing of it. And then when you adapt it, a movie that has 25 characters, it's like, well, first of all, nobody's going to pay for that to be produced. And so it's like, not going to do that. And also, it's just too many moving parts and it's not theatrical. So it's like, where do you get that? And it's like, we've taken this show down to being able to be performed by a cast of 12 now, and we've cut what would be considered main characters or combined characters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely, it can be, that's part of the challenge and the art and magic of it, I think, is seeing around those corners to what really works dramatically. And a lot of times you learn that from doing it and then being like, well, that didn't work. but you made all of your entrances with those quick changes. I saw it happen. My mom said it was her swan song, though, as a performer for those shows.
You get her in with that show.
She's like, she said, I'm too old for this.
It was a workout.
It was great.
Yeah. Well, we're very excited about the Kibby trilogy that may unfold. So we're we love Kibby. We every time we're able to do these songs and show people these songs, we're so excited to do so. And people seem to really connect with the story. People of all ages. So I think they'll be really excited to see like what's next in the life of Kibby. So we're excited to talk to you more about that soon, and we'll get to do these shows again when everything comes back.
Yes. Back to live theater. Wear your masks. Get your vaccines. So thank you both so much for joining us today on our 9th episode of McGuire and Simon Third Thursdays, or # Third Thursdays. It's been a pleasure, and we thought we'd just send everybody out with a little bit of a party. This is the disco jam from Kibby, the Space Dog. I can't remember, Kyle. You were like, I want it to be like. I don't remember what the reference you.
I believe I think I was like I think I said Thelma Houston's "Don't Leave Me This Way."
Yes, "Don't Leave Me This Way." And I think you said
I said listen to that and go off that a little bit.
Yeah, I can't remember. There were a couple of big disco hits, and I was like, all right. So without further ado, for the show about a space dog, this is Dogs in Space. And thank you so much again for joining us, and we will see you third Thursday of next month.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Where am I? It's so dark and so cold. Hello? I know there's someone out there. Hello? Who are you?
We're the Space Dogs. We're the Space Dogs. We're the Space Dogs. Dogs in space. We're the Space Dogs. We're dogs in space. We strut around the cosmos like we own the place. We're the best of friends, a solid crew. And what we really want is to be friends with you. We're the Space Dogs. We're the Space Dogs. We're the Space Dogs. Dogs in space. We're the Space Dogs. We set the pace. We dash between the planets in a cosmic race. We're the best of friends, pals, through and through. And we've got gear on our heads just like you. I think it's time to meet the crew.
I'm the athlete. I'm strong and I'm fast.
I'm the comic. I'll make you laugh. I'm the bookworm. I'm real good at school.
And I'm the bad boy because I'm super cool.
Well, what about me? Who should I be?
Kibby, you're definitely the cute one.
You guys think I'm cute?
Yeah.
Kibby,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
the cutest
for sure.
pug in space.
I love space.